Holy crap, this morning I woke up to a lot of you going insane over things, and I understand, I definitely get it. So, just buckle in, boys. I guess it's time for a rant video, isn't it? My god, so, yeah. Oh god. So, a lot of you have been freaking out about the Rally Speed and Defense Plus, which, yes, that is pure power creep. I'm just going to touch on that real quick because it's replacing a different version of itself and doing it better. And, you know, there's no real ignoring that. That's just going to be even more cancerous when it comes to armor emblems in Arena, because they sit around rallying themselves anyways, and it's just going to be even worse from this point on. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But hey, at least it's a valuable option for infantry and other units to make do, right? But the other one that people keep freaking out about is, of course, with our dear boy, and I'm just going to throw it over here, our dear boy Levin. At least that's what I'm assuming his name is, because a lot of you have been telling me that. I do apologize, I'm not familiar with genealogy. This does make me want to play genealogy, though, and probably get my ass kicked, but, you know, you get the idea. So his B skill slot passive is, it's Dark Mistletoe in B skill slot, basically, which means that after he triggers a special, that special trigger cooldown is reduced quite substantially, and with a lot of special skills, that's going to be quite terrifying. Especially on Levin, it looks like it's going to be very powerful. But a lot of people have noticed that it looks to be inheritable, and I'm almost certain it is, but a lot of people are freaking out. It reminds me a lot of Deathblow 4 when that came out, and people were like, oh my god, memes and Reinhardt and all this other fun stuff. But I will say I'm hoping that the B skills, the B skill passive for Special Spiral is locked to certain movement types. At least that's just my hope. You know, maybe make it a little bit better. I personally would like it if it was, you know, restricted to ranged units, because that would make things a little bit more interesting. It would make them a little bit more prevalent in the meta, at least to me it would, and it would be like the opposite of Wrath in that situation where, hey, look, here's this unit you can use, you know, too bad it's not melee, so you can't make use out of Wrath. But a lot of people have been freaking out over this, going, what happens if you can inherit this into other units? And some examples that have been thrown around are a little scary, but I want to just tone this down. I want to bring it back and just, you know, bring this into the realm of a little bit more reality, in a sense. One of the situations that people keep bringing up, Reinhardt. People keep going, oh my god, Reinhardt is going to be able to use this. And yes, he can potentially use this. His B skill slot is usually, you know, filled up with either a chill or B, a breaker skill, just because those are, you know, kind of options for him. Breaker skills allow him to quad, and, you know, chills just make it, especially chill res, which is restricted to a seasonal unit, but I have seen it run around a bit. Chill res just makes it easier to kill, and, you know, therefore Special Spiral might be able to fit in there very well. He could potentially use Moonbow every turn, or, you know, use Luna, which is even more of a valuable option. And yeah, I can see that, but I don't think this is something that is necessarily game-breaking right now in the game. You can, with a special skill setup, you could run Moonbow, and he can trigger that right at the start. It's not exactly something devastating. It's just something that, you know, could be a potential there. I don't think it's as game-breaking as people are going to make it out to be. However, there are other options out there. There are different options that people keep throwing around that do terrify me in some regard, and but I think they're also a little overblown. The one that, you know, I've made jokes about this on Twitter. The one that I'm thinking about is Zelgius, Speedy Boy Knight, who everyone keeps throwing around because, you know, he has access to Black Luna, which is an insanely powerful ability in his skill slot. And, yeah, that is a possibility. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's, you know, Black Luna has a 3 passive cooldown where basically, you know, you need to do 3 actions or have 3 actions happen, and, well, considering the fact that you could put Quick and Pulse on him and give him a slaying weapon, yes, replacing a Lone Dite, and give him Special Spiral, maybe have Hector there too, so, you know, Legendary Hector, so technically he'll get a cooldown reduction at the start of the turn, and therefore also be able to just make use out of that and have Black Luna up every single turn. That's a scary possibility, but the thing is, I'm oftentimes reminded that potentially as a skill setup, technically, doesn't he already have that in a way? I mean, if you give him Bold Fighter, Special Fighter is another option, he can run that real well. He already kind of technically has that too, so it's not necessarily something that's game-breaking. It's a weird one. It does scare me a bit, but do tell me if this actually is inheritable to armor units. If you actually see, you know, this happening, I want to see it. In fact, if it is inheritable, I will try and make this happen. I will see how well Special Spiral will work on some of these characters. The other possibility that people keep throwing around, and this one is actually kind of scary, is the fact that if you're looking at Special Spiral 3 right now, you'll notice that it does not mention that, you know, it can stack or not. That is something that I think IS needs to do better when it comes to these little introductions to these characters. They also need to maybe add in you know, just a way to see if something is exclusive, because this always causes a storm every time there is something like this, and sometimes it's an exclusive ability to the characters and people just are, you know, freaking out for no reason. But neither here nor there, I guess, is that it could potentially run with Ares. Yeah, that's right. Ares already has the effect in his weapon, so potentially this means that it can stack with that? So that means if Ares is able to run this, and, you know, use Special Spiral in his B slot, well, this means that he's going to be able to trigger it, and then also trigger Aether every single turn? Huh. Granted, that relies on him being able to trigger it right away, and, you know, he still needs to go through the initial setup of actually triggering Aether to get the cooldown reduction. I think people kind of forget that, and oftentimes you usually only do one battle where maybe you do that special trigger twice if you're going with that. But even then, when it comes to Ares, you're probably going to be running Vantage and maybe using something like Bonfire or Ignis, just so you have the advantage there. Get it? Advantage. Vantage. I'm sorry. You get the idea. It's just, I don't think Special Spiral is going to end anything here. I don't think it's going to be too crazy. I do think it's probably going to be, you know, bound to certain unit typings. I don't think it's going to be inheritable on, you know, cavalry and what else is there? You know, flying units. But it is a possibility. It's an option. I don't think it's as overpowered as it's going to be. But if it does show up like that, you better bet your ass I'm going to try and experiment with this and just see how far we can push this little B slot passive. But where do you guys fall on this? Where do you guys think this is going to go? Are you upset over the new rally skills? Are you interested in what's going on? I just I'm scared. Okay, I'm scared. But no, I think some of it is a little overblown. I do understand that the rally skills are, you know, a little iffy, especially with this being a replacement. But Special Spiral, you know, is definitely a very useful ability. It just remains to be seen if it's going to be incredibly powerful as people are claiming it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a really great passive. It's just, you know, not as crazy as, you know, everyone thinks it is. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping it's not inheritable on some certain units, just because, you know, it's a terrifying possibility of round 1 Aether, but hey, that makes me think now. Huh, Radiant Aether on Ike with this. Oh dear. Oh, I'm terrified. Either way, catch you nerds later. Sorry for the rant. See you soon.